Hey guys, it's Stephen here, back with another video. Manchester City won, Brentford 0. It wasn't pretty, but it really didn't need to be pretty. At the end of the day, we got the 3 points, and that, my friends, is all that matters. Manchester City are now 9 points clear of Liverpool, though we've played one game more. But importantly, we are 8 points clear of Chelsea after they drew with Brighton today. We got the points when they couldn't, and that is what matters. Also, what matters is OneFootball. Go and do me a massive favour right now and click the link in the description below and download OneFootball. You can also scan the QR code next to my face where you get all the stats and information about Manchester City and from across the world of football as well. So what are you waiting for? Download OneFootball right now. Help support this channel and nourish your phone. Get all the information you need from across the world of football, and it's free as well, which is absolutely brilliant. I tell you, you won't regret it. I've been using OneFootball for over 3 years personally, and it's absolutely brilliant. As brilliant as a Kevin De Bruyne across, so go and download it right now. So City have won 1-0 tonight. I think it's fair to say sometimes you watch a game of football and you just know that you're not going to talk about that game in the future. You know you're not going to remember it. You know you're going to basically go, oh yeah, I remember that. What happened? And that essentially was the story of that night. And sometimes it doesn't really matter at all whatsoever. When those around you are losing their heads, all you got to do is try and keep yours, and sometimes that can be enough to put you in the driving seat. And right now, that table is looking very promising. 10 Premier League wins in a row is enough to suffocate any of our rivals into submission, and currently, so it's proving. Chelsea, of course, tonight. Good old Danny Welbeck rescuing a point for Brighton and leaving them 8 points behind after we got another win. Liverpool, of course, 9 points behind. They've got a game to play, of course, but it's a really strong position for us. And I don't really care sometimes how we get the victory as long as we do get those 3 points. This tonight, it wasn't a great performance. It was a very boring game, if I'm being honest. I found myself drifting off at times, and a couple of Kevin De Bruyne moments aside, and maybe the odd nice touch here from Phil Foden and so on, there was very little to write home about. But games like this are how you can judge potentially the outcome of a season. It's in those moments when the team isn't sparkling or scintillating at the best, where they've got a few key players missing, how you can really judge a team's title credentials. And this was that kind of moment tonight. And as far as I'm concerned, they answered all the questions. Really, Brentford were a decent side. They had a couple of decent moments themselves. The City just about did enough, really. It wasn't really a fluid formation tonight. Like, City didn't really offer loads going forward. A lot of toil, a lot of energy from the front three. They worked really hard, but there was very few moments of genuine magic. Of course, Phil Foden took his goal absolutely beautifully, and I thought he actually led the line really well. And his commitment, especially towards the end of the game, when City were really trying to wear down Brentford, was really crucial. It really was. He won so many little free kicks for us, and sometimes those little horrible dirty things matter in a game of football. That ability to just take the sting out of a game, take the life out of the opposition when they're trying to build up a head of steam, that's what Foden did really well tonight, which is kind of a thankless task sometimes. It's not a glamorous task either, but that's the one thing people don't really give Manchester City credit for. We've got this great football, but we still work harder than pretty much anyone else as well. That is why Manchester City is so successful, not because they brought the best players, it's because they've got some of the best players, and they've got players who are so committed to working so incredibly hard. And that was epitomised tonight by the likes of Phil Foden, Gabriel Jesus and so on, running really hard. I mean, Jesus didn't have a great game, lovely bit of skill at the end for what it was worth. I don't think Grealish had a great game either, if I'm being honest. They were all very just meh, they were all kind of there, but ultimately it kind of didn't really matter, did it? Foden's goal was lovely. It was pure Kevin De Bruyne, wasn't it? Kevin De Bruyne, an absolutely delicious first-time cross, just onside, and I think it was the right call personally. I mean, we'll get on to Laporte in a second, but I think that those things should always be onside. I know Kane was off something very similar recently, but to me, if the feet are level, it should be onside for me. I know they ain't on the rules, but it should always be onside. It shouldn't matter if someone's leaning a bit more further forward, because it means they've just reacted a bit quicker. But you know what? I'm not going into that today. Foden's goal, a lovely first-time finish, and it knocked the stuffing out of Brentford because they had just had a decent little moment or two as well, and that can be punishing as well when you feel like you're doing well and then the team go at the other end and score a goal. But that is why we're champions, as the away fans sung, and it's true. That is why we're champions. That's what we do to teams. I really thought Laporte's goal should have counted. Technically, he was leaning like that far offside, but I don't get it. To me, the level. I mean, that's how I think the benefit should always be with the attacker there, because he doesn't get an advantage. He's getting to that cross either way. You know, if he stands that further back, he's not going to. nothing changes. I don't really see what happens any differently if he's half an inch, whatever, half a foot further back. It doesn't to me. It was a lovely header. Didn't happen, but we did hold on. I mean, defensively, some solid little moments. I think we are missing the pace of Kyle Walker. A lot has been made of what we miss of Rodri, and do not get me wrong, we do miss Rodri because Rodri brings that balance and that strength. These days, that composure to the team as well. And the way that Fernandinho, he's pretty good at doing it, but he's not as good as he used to be at doing it. And Rodri, he's just a better player these days, and that's not a criticism of Fernandinho. It's just he's a 36-year-old man. I know a thing or two about being 36, and I tell you, your body's not as good as it is when it's 26. It just isn't. It isn't. You're tired down, and I think we've underestimated as well the impact and lack of Kyle Walker's had on the team as well. Kyle Walker, the amount of times the ball does get past Rodri, because it gets past everyone at some point, and Kyle Walker's there to shut it down with his pace, his speed, his physicality, his understanding, and his ever-increasing game intelligence. You can't underestimate the impact something like that has on this team. And Kyle Walker, at the moment, him not being there as another valuable line of defence, if we get past Rodri or Fernandinho, that is also another blow. It kind of nullifies Cancelo a little bit as well, because he has to change his game a little bit. And today, of course, as well, I think we weren't that great with the build-up. Probably because of the team we had to play. Zinchenko is not as good defensively as Ake, but he is better in the build-up because he's a better natural footballer. Having said that, I thought Ake defended really well today, actually. I've got to give him credit. I thought he was a really committed defensive performance from Ake, and I think he made a difference tonight in the team as well. And Diaz had a ropey first half an hour, I thought, personally. A couple of little slight mistakes. But overall, the defence pretty much stood up strong. And Bernardo was kind of quiet tonight, but he worked hard. And De Bruyne had the quality. Of course he had the quality, because that's what De Bruyne does. Overall, I think it was a decent night of football. I mean, to me, the big takeaway, of course, is the Premier League table. We're 9 points clear of Liverpool, 8 points clear of Chelsea. Of course, Liverpool got a game in hand and so on. But that pressure, it isn't good. They already felt like they were... the reaction online to Liverpool losing last night was comical. Like, the heads have entirely gone from the Liverpool fan base and many of the media essentially declaring Manchester City champions already. And games like this tonight, they will not make Liverpool feel any better when they're seeing a team like Brentford battling pretty well but still not managing to lay a finger on us really, and City walk away with 3 points despite not playing well. That is also demoralising to teams, and these are the kind of nights that really can press down on your opponents and make you feel just like you've got nowhere to go. And that's what it'll do for Liverpool right now, because obviously they can still get back to 6 points, but we've got the games, the points in the bag, and they've got to try and match us stride for stride and then hope we make loads of mistakes. That isn't easy to take, and it adds an added pressure to you as well as trying to win your own games. You've got to chase someone else down. You've got to be flawless. And right now, look, I'll never say it's over. It isn't over. It just isn't. We see how quickly things can change in this COVID climate. We could have a few key players out, and a few more could drop down, and all of a sudden players could drop out like flies, and all of a sudden we could be losing games. And we've got some big games coming up as well. Chelsea, of course. So it's not over. But right now, it does feel confident. We'd be lying if we all didn't say we feel confident right now, and I'm sure Guardiola will be feeling exactly the same. I do think we have to play better. I'm sure we will do. I'd be interested to see how we play against Arsenal now. I really don't know. Maybe there'll be a few changes. Maybe we'll see Gundogan at the number 6. I've got a feeling we will see him at the number 6 role, because he's rested for a reason, in my personal opinion. Likewise, Zinchenko, I think he'll come back into the team. We'll try and keep the ball a bit better. And I also think there was a really strong case for Mahrez and Sterling to play as well. I think Foden had a decent game tonight, but I don't think Jesus or Grealish really did much to say they should be playing against Arsenal. I think Sterling will come back in. I think Mahrez will, because they are our biggest goal threats at the moment, those two players, alongside Kevin De Bruyne. And I think Foden might have done enough to get a start there, I reckon, maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Gundogan, Bernardo, De Bruyne, Foden, Sterling and Mahrez at the weekend with Zinchenko. And hopefully, man, hopefully we hear some positive news about Kyle Walker. I don't know where he is. I don't think anyone knows where he is at the moment. Obviously, there was some compassionate leave because he lost a friend. But it's gone quiet since then as well. It could still be that. It could be COVID. Hopefully, Rodri could be available. Who knows, man? It could be. I don't know if the 7-day kind of 2-test rule is working in football too, but it is in the rest of society. So maybe, if they test negative, they might be available as well. That would be a lovely, lovely, lovely thing, wouldn't it? But all I know is right now, I'm going to look at the Premier League table. It just looks really good. It looks really good. Sorry, it was light in my face there as well. It looks wonderful. 20 games in. And things look really, really good, don't they? City have won 1-0 once again. This was not a classic, but it didn't need to be. We keep finding a way to win games. 10 wins in a row. We are very, very hard to chase down as well. I love it. City, bloody good. Guys, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget as well to go and download OneFootball. Click the link in the description if you want to help support this channel a little bit. It means loads. And of course, don't forget to hit that like button. Give the video a comment on what you thought of the game. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It means more than you could realise to me. It really does. I'm nearly at 60k, so do me a favour. Hit the subscribe button. And thank you to my patrons currently scrolling down the side of the screen. Patron producer Scott Deneby. Absolutely legend. Big Deneby energy always. And I'll see you tomorrow for a video in a bit. Come on, City.